So this is going to be a really interesting conversation. So Dex, has known the GitLab team for a while and has asked them to come and have a conversation about, how to make software distribution a core organizational competency. So clearly, GitLab has had GitLab Enterprise, which is distributed to many of their customers. They've been doing that both through an omnibus installer, but also as a Helm chart for many years. And they've seen a ton of success in adoption of that enterprise product. And I think there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from what they've been doing and how that's been working for them. So that I will hand it over to Dex to lead us in this discussion.
Cool. Thanks, Grant, and welcome to Jason, DJ, and Dylan. Appreciate y'all coming through. Got a couple questions we'll run through and just kind of talk through. Really excited to hear and talk through what doing this really well looks like. And personally, I'm super curious because we started this conversation and I could talk about this for 3 hours, but we wanted to save the good stuff for this session. So excited to get into it with y'all. Real quick, just by way of introduction, I would love to just have each person on the panel kind of quickly say, your name, where you're based, what you work on at GitLab, and what you like to do for fun. And if you hate that question as much as I do, I will also accept what is the best sandwich. That's an alternative answer. We'll start with Jason.
Hi, everybody. Staff distribution engineer over at GitLab. I lead technical team in direction, architecture, design decisions, in how we end up producing consumable methods of deploying GitLab. That's about as simple as I can try and get it. Because what I want to point out is people think, oh, that's relatively simple. It might be just DevOps or infrastructure as code. But we're talking about the difference between one person on Community Edition with a Raspberry Pi and GitLab.com with 10 million users, and the same code doing all of it. So whether we're talking about the large number of customers that we have that are 5,000 plus, or the insane number of customers that we have that are between 10 and 500, what we do has to work for all of them.
Cool.
For what I do in my spare time, I am a avid bowler. No, not just for fun, also sport. Yes, it is a sport. And I also play some card games. I'm going to answer the sandwich question anyways, and that's a proper Cuban.
All right. Thanks, Jason. DJ, what you got?
Yeah, hi, I'm DJ. I'm the distribution build engineering manager at GitLab. I've been at GitLab about the same amount of time as Jason. We've been on distribution for a little over 6 years now, working here at GitLab on distributing our product to customers of all sizes. And I'm based in a different location than the rest of my cohorts here on the call. I'm in Victoria, BC, Canada. And yeah, in terms of favorite sandwich, I'm pretty simple in that regard. I just like a peanut butter and honey sandwich.
All right. Thank you, DJ. Dylan, what you got?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Dylan. I'm the senior product manager here at GitLab for distribution. So working with Jason and DJ regularly to plan out what the future of software distribution continues to look like, and also continue to sense what our customers need in terms of installation to configuration all the way through continued success with their instance. So it's as Jason mentioned, it's a challenge because building a tool for a large enterprise that is fairly well versed in managing an application like GitLab to a small subset of users who have a lot going on, so they necessarily can't dedicate somebody to just managing what we have to offer. As far as what I like to do for fun or where I'm based, I'm out here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. There's a lot to do out here, but I keep myself busy by working on my house, and I've got a couple old cars that I like to work on. And I'll answer the sandwich question as well, since everyone else did. I think a nice BLT with some fresh ingredients is always a winner.
Nice, thank you. And I guess I probably should have gone first. I feel like that's the etiquette, but I'm Dex. I spent the last 4 years running our customer engineering team. As of last week, I'm actually transitioned to a product manager on the vendor experience side. So any of you who have a good experience, please call me. If you have a bad experience, I don't want to hear about it. That goes for everybody in this web. No, I'm just kidding. Look forward to working more closely with a lot of you. And I think the best sandwich is a classic Italian hero with like 6 different kinds of meats and cheeses and covered in vinegar and hot peppers. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. We got a little bit of a taste from your intros, but I understand that, GitLab has kind of a unique approach to how you solve this problem of distributing software into customer environments, and that you have an entire team and product group with product managers dedicated to the infrastructure that allows you to deliver out into customer environments. I would love to hear from folks who've been here for a little while, kind of like, how is that team structured, and when did it become clear that you wanted to kind of invest in that and put an entire engineering team behind that practice?
I think DJ, you probably have the best perspective on that one.
Yeah, so I think the kind of the first I'll touch on what the team is really briefly. Jason will probably go into more details in a little bit, but yeah, for the distribution team, the team exists in its current form to treat the installation and upgrade of GitLab as a product feature of GitLab that we want to work as best as possible. And so the team is hyper focused on delivering based on that. In terms of how did we determine that it needed to exist? Why does this team exist? At GitLab, it was pretty organic, and I think we didn't that end goal of productizing it wasn't the initial goal. So it is a pretty old team at GitLab. So GitLab was very few developers when it was formed. So those developers were kind of handling everything, including deploying to infrastructure for the .com product. But we had large customers that were doing self-managed. So the support team built a tool for help assisting with that. The GitLab support team did that. And because we had so few developers to maintain that tool, it made sense to reduce the number of tools we're using. So we adopted that same tool for deploying to GitLab.com. Then we scaled, as GitLab grew, we scaled, we hired more people. We hired more people to our infrastructure department. We hired more folks in development and in support that were kind of specialized in those areas. But we still had this tool that had been created that was necessary, and the team, a separate team to kind of maintain that tooling became to exist. And that's kind of how it formed.
Yeah, so it's interesting because you look at the way that a lot of people consume GitLab, and you can see, okay, this makes sense given kind of how open source is just sewn into the fabric of how y'all do everything, and it should be just available to pick up and bring off the shelf and run it wherever. But it sounds like in the early days, it actually came from kind of almost a commercial drive where it's like, okay, we have these big customers that want to run it this way, and so we're gonna get some engineers on it and see if we can make that happen. Is that right?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Yeah,
it was largely that, and early versions of GitLab meant you had to install it from source, even if you were an enterprise customer. And that is doable until the application gets to a certain size in terms of complexity and components and things like this. And really, like, distribution as it is today actually came from a team that was once called Build, right? Our job was to build a product that was actually consumable by a customer, which everyone is a customer to our team, whether it's GitLab.com, our dedicated product that we've just made public, or the self-installed, the self-managed instances, whether they be in the cloud or on-prem. Everybody consumes exactly the same thing. So Build's job was make this thing, put all the components together, and make it easy and replicable to actually consume for any number of customers at any scale. And where our distribution is today, yeah, we focused largely on that same original goal, but now we're really focusing on that flexibility and scale capability.
Cool. And getting into flexibility and scaling, kind of like, I understand y'all do a lot in terms of incorporating kind of DevOps and SRE principles that are typically kind of pointed at SaaS environments. How do you like to, like, how does the GitLab team incorporate those ideas and translate them into a world where you're managing and building software that you're not going to have direct access to?
So that's a fun one, right? That's where the flexibility that I spoke about early comes into play. The fact is that there are some components that don't run well in Kubernetes because they are highly dynamic based on user load. There are some components that run really well in Kubernetes, and everybody wants to do it in Kubernetes, but there's some understanding that you have to have about how the applications function. When we're talking about our traditional product, the Omnibus, right? It's the Omnibus GitLab. It's a package that you install, apt-get, install, etc. Right? That has everything that you need to actually stand up and run it on the particular distribution that you're choosing to use, and it'll work. And if you can technically take one that you've installed in RHEL 8 and set up a secondary node in Debian 7.9 now, and
you can link those together.
And they work just fine, right?
Cool.
So the outputs are that this is consistent no matter how you're doing it, where you're doing it, or what your particular choice of operation is, whether that's, I want to have business support, so I'm using RHEL 8, or I'm okay with handling my own infrastructure and I'm going to use Debian 9 by choice. Trust me, I like Debian, but I also understand I need to have a business support in going with something like Red Hat or Alma or something like this.
Cool.
When it comes
and then
to
DJ, oh yeah, go ahead.
With the scale, and I apologize, don't mean to talk over anybody. When it comes to dealing with the scale, we honestly never know what the customer's behaviors are going to be, and we have to make some recommendations for them architecture-wise, but we have to accept that we also can't make those decisions for them. We don't get to enforce specific decisions in how they do things. I don't get to pick that you always use AWS RDS for your database, because there's no such thing on-prem. You may not live in a country that has access to AWS, right?
So does that present challenges in like how do you help your users maximize their chance for success? How do you maximize the chance that when they get this thing off the shelf and they try to install it, that whether they're using RDS or Azure or some MySQL that they set up themselves, that's going to go well?
That's tested. DJ?
Cool.
Yeah, we have essentially reference architectures that we publish that are heavily tested against and operate at several different scales that they can reference. And then the key thing is that in our software development style, that the tools that our team's working on are out there in the open, and because they are the installation software, they're also kind of the most exposed to our to the sysadmins and the folks setting up the software. So we get a lot of engagement where the community and our customers are able to help us make the product configurable for their environments. And so we have those reference architectures, but a big part of it is allowing them to re-engage with us. And a lot of our architectural work is actually around how do we make customized configuration? How does that best fit in our installation product without making things unmanageable?
Cool. Shifting gears a little bit to kind of the product side of the conversation, Dylan, I know we talked for all of 30 seconds about metrics and making data-driven decisions around how you build and enhance the product that is the distribution vessel for all of GitLab. What sorts of things do you measure, and kind of how does that help you make decisions as a product and engineering team about where to focus your efforts?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main performance indicator that we track, that the distribution team is sort of working against, is our upgrade rate. So I know that we've talked about installing on a lot of different types of distributions and making it work in a lot of custom environments, which we all, are tracking those metrics as well, but it's kind of hard to track, number of OSs. That's not really a good metric to track because, stacking the max amount of places, this can run isn't a good metric to track against, I guess. So we're working on upgrade rate, which is the percentage of instances on the latest 3 versions of GitLab. So that, I would say, is our big starting point. And I think all the variables that come with that, if we have a good upgrade rate, it means one, it's, I guess, easy to install because we have a lot of users using it. And it's easy to continue to use and maintain and stay up to date because GitLab releases every month. I don't know if that's already been said, but that is its own challenge. But it allows us to be incredibly agile and release features all the time. But if our customers are not constantly upgrading, it could lend a customer to not be able to access the latest things that we're doing all the time. And maybe even on a more important note is security. So we are currently only maintaining the latest 3 versions for security reasons. From a patch release perspective, DJ or Jason can clarify kind of what that means, but it's important in many facets is what I'm getting at from upgrade rate. So if we start there on upgrade rate, there's a lot of extra things that kind of come with that. So we can distill it down from upgrade rate to, okay, what type of distributions are upgrading the best and what size of distributions are upgrading? Is a 10-person GitLab instance upgrading more frequently or better than a 10,000 user? So we try and make decisions then, okay, should we be building tools for these larger enterprises or a startup with a few folks working there? So I guess that's just breaking the surface. From there, we try and see which, say, milestones were troublesome. So this is just a good example. We do have required upgrades. So, Jason mentioned, we want to be able to go from one milestone to another. Sometimes it's unavoidable for us to say jump from 14.1 to 15.3 because in there not only is there a major release that we've done, but also a minor release that we've implemented a required upgrade. Again, these are sometimes unavoidable based on features that we'd like to add in other product areas. But what we found is those are troublesome for customers, and it has a large impact on our upgrade rate. So I'm just kind of leading down a product decision tree here. And so now we're like, hey, we need to build a tool or we need to figure out these required upgrades or get rid of required upgrades. So one thing we've done, I think I can share my screen here. I'll kind of show where this kind of started. And these are all public issues. So again, the nature of GitLab working as a fairly transparent company. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. So this is just a totally public issue that we've been working on. And what somebody in support posed that says, hey, we've been getting a lot of support requests that it's difficult to upgrade. And it's usually has to do with these required upgrades. And so you can see, the required upgrades that we've had over the years, and they're getting more and more frequent. So we don't want to do that anymore. The function to fix this is much more challenging to say end required upgrades. So an MVC, which we work with a lot from a product perspective at GitLab, which is our minimum viable change, which is simply, let's take the unexpectedness out of a required upgrade. Sometimes we just have to put one in with not a lot of notice or maybe no notice because we want to keep the features rolling. But an easy change is just let's schedule them now. So in 16.0, we're discussing, let's announce a required upgrade halfway through or maybe 2, spaced out so that they're not unexpected. A customer can, work towards, this in their plan for upgrading.
Then you have
GitLab.
kind of the breaking features funneled into those kind of mid-release milestones instead of having popping up randomly throughout the process as we needed to ship new product.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. That's really fascinating. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
finish.
No, go ahead.
Okay, it's really fascinating that idea of upgrades being the core of the most important thing that you all track and how fast you can get people on new versions. Because I mean, it's not only, I'm sure, as a PM important to you to be able to ship product, and you can kind of get into the interplay of Agile and DevOps and definition of done, right? What good is a feature if you ship it and only 10% of your customers can even use it because they're on old versions? But the other thing I'm sure, and I want to hear a little bit from Jason on this, is that idea that like any instance over a year old is just a support nightmare waiting to happen. And if they try to upgrade and jump through 4 versions, that's going to be a problem. And if they're not upgrading and you go to fix it, it's like you're carrying this debt of like, our support staff and our team needs to know about all these old things and how they worked in 10 different flavors. But Jason, I know you're really close to end customers, and while being a staff engineer and working and doing architecture, you're also spent a lot of time in the field. I would love to hear a little bit about how the team cultivates this sort of DevOps mindset of like sharing knowledge of the field roles and the engineering roles, and making sure that people who are building are out in the field seeing it work, and people who are out in the field seeing it work are being brought in to understand and empowered to improve the reliability of the software.
Right. So let me prefix this real quick when it comes to like why we care so much about the UX of upgrades. You know, we want you to be secure and make sure you're on the latest patches so you're getting the best functionality, the best features, and most importantly, that you are secure. But here's the thing, everybody. If your customers can't upgrade because they were afraid to, what are they doing with your product? Right? Your greatest value is a retained customer. So that being said, our team does work with customers. It's actually a KPI on a regular basis that everybody on the team works with at least one customer call per quarter, because we want them to see the perspective that the customers have and the way that they're doing that. Because our team needs multiple perspectives for how things work to be able to do what we do at the scale we do. I tend to refer to this as a 4 viewpoints. You have the people that are individually managing a component, right? These are the people that are maybe the rabbit living under the trees in the forest. And then you have the people that are managing the runtime of that application, or that application as a deployment, right? Or even interconnected within the application. These are the people that are caring about a particular grove of trees. They might see the rabbits, but they're not going to go chasing it. You've got one level up from that, which is the traditional system admin that cares about the platform, right? You're caring about your cluster and how the application's behaving in that. You don't necessarily even need to care about the particular application until you start hearing problems coming from that grove, and you'll never see the individual rabbits. There's one more perspective, even higher than that, which is the platform engineers, the people that have to manage company-wide tasks, right?
The tools that build the tools that build the tools, right?
Tools that make the things that work.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are standing on the mountain looking at multiple views, multiple forests. They generally don't care about any particular infestation of rabbits. They care that the forest looks healthy, right? So you have the perspectives of the architects, the engineers, the developers, bug hunters. You've got all of these perspectives that add value to what we produce, because for a customer to enjoy the product, no matter how many features it has to be reliable, it has to be easy to maintain, and it's got to be easy for whoever has to do the work to know where to go find the work. So we regularly involve our support engineers, give us feedback. We'll support you, you support us. Our solutions architects, we provide them with information in regards to what should their architecture look like. Are they living up to that? Is there going to be a strain based on what the user patterns actually are? Because you can design the best system in the world. It's used by humans. Okay? Something is going to be different than you expect. You can say this can handle 3,000 requests per second, and that handles all 3,000 of your users just fine. And then you attach CI and fleet management, and it goes from 3,000 RPS to 10,000 RPS, and your system's like, ugh, trying to carry the load, right? We have these perspectives all the way through, and we try to make sure that we deal with this. When we have a problem because a component is misbehaving, we go and we try to look, and then we'll call in to the experts that are from the teams that are developing that component. Be like, look, here's what we're seeing. This seems a little odd. Can you help us understand what this behavior is? there's a network issue, there's a disk I/O issue, these kinds of things. On a virtual machine, network and disk I/O issues, these are easy to trace. In Kubernetes, whoa, we got a different ball game.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. And thank you, Jason. Grant just popped a message. So we are technically at time. I want to thank the GitLab folks. If y'all want to stick around for 5 minutes, we could see if there's questions from the audience. If you have the time, sounds like we've got a little buffer time here because we've got a break after this. So either questions for the audience, drop them in the chat, or if anybody has other last words, thoughts, things that are upcoming that you're excited about, something you want to plug, either is good. But I'll open it up now.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Jason was just saying. In terms of the different teams that need to be engaged. Also, in terms of hiring, like what sort of folks make up a distribution team, it's actually we try to diversify it with folks from all those other areas. So we have people who have had a background in support in the team. We have folks who are background in SRE, backend engineers that were working on the Rails product. And even myself, I came from a front-end engineer background, so a really diverse team is one of the ways we enable that and enable the communication between those other departments.
Cool. We got a question from Nikki. How did you decide what metrics matter most to your success and to your customers' success?
Yeah, great question. So I think Jason started touching on this. The fact that if a customer cares about the product they're using and it's critical to their workflow, they are more likely to stay up to date. And so if they fear this upgrading, it's more of a pain point itself to use GitLab because it's not an enjoyable experience, especially if it's out of date, right? So I think that's why upgrade rate is kind of a core metric that we start out with. Another one that I think relates to customer success is if we're updating every month, I would like to see our other instances updating every month as well. So one that we've recently been developing, which is how many versions are jumped when they're upgrading. So number of versions that they move. Which is kind of interesting. The majority of the versions that our customers move is one instance at a time, which is great. But when you combine the two, they might be 6 milestones behind and upgrading every month. So you have to work in an ecosystem with both of those numbers to make sure that not only are they upgrading every month, which is great, we love to see it, but are they upgrading every month within that sort of sweet spot of the 3 latest versions.
They could be a year behind in upgrading every month, and that's not what you want to see either.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's a good mix of why upgrade rate is so important to us. That it just shows they're active. The stickiness. I know it's a classic product term, but if they're upgrading every month and they're on the latest version, they're excited about GitLab, and I think that's the core of it.
Yeah, and we're exploring. I think my favorite metric I'm talking with folks right now is median age of deployed software across all your instances. What's kind of the middle of the pack? And if you want to improve that, you go take the oldest ones and get them upgraded, or you could take the most recent ones and get them on a monthly upgrade cadence. There's a lot of ways to tackle that. One really good question from, I hope I'm saying it right, Roshan. How do you keep track of on-prem customers who are not connected to the internet, who are running this in an air-gap mode? How do you get that insight from those people?
That's a fun one.
Yeah. I'll just say real quick. So we have a usage ping that can be turned on or off based on a customer's internal sort of practices. We'd love everyone to have it on. It's great information for us. We don't, we're not sharing it anywhere else. We're using it to improve, but some customers just can't. Jason, do you want to,
particular to the air-gapped one, effectively, most truly air-gapped customers can't send the usage ping, and there's no actual method to collect that and then send it in an email or anything like that. So we have to rely on the customer to actually inform us.
You call them and ask them, hey, what version are you running? And then you write it down somewhere.
That's literally one of the technical account manager jobs is,
cool.
Hey, we know you're running air-gapped. How's it doing? How's your experience? Can we improve anything about how the upgrade process works. Is there anything challenging to make sure that you have everything you need in an air gap scenario? Is the fact that it's air gapped complex for you to actually do the configuration, which is a particular item that we're aware of when it comes to deploying our Helm chart. It is. We're working on it. We promise.
We'll get there. We'll all get there.
Yeah.
I hate to cut you off, but we are at time and I want to keep things
Mhm.
moving. But I thank you all so much for coming. This was super fun. I'm sure we could sit and talk about this for the next 3 hours. Maybe we'll do a part 2 in next quarter. But DJ, Dylan, Jason, thank you so much for joining. And feel free to stick around. There's some more content coming. Grant, I think we got a break up next. But thanks all of y'all. Thanks audience for the questions. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.